Welcome back to Cruise360. Please welcome your host, CLIA Vice President of Industry and Trade Relations, Charles Sylvia, ECC.
If you slow down for a second, take your time. You know I'm yours if you remember that.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final general session of our 2023 Cruise360. Hasn't this been a fantastic few days? I know that I am ready to get back out there and set sail on my next cruise. In fact, I'll be cruising on Thursday, believe it or not. And how about the spectacular CLIA Hall of Fame dinner and awards ceremony last night? Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that spectacular? The entertainment acts were off the charts, and we would like to once again thank Six from Norwegian Cruise Line, the Grease Ensemble from Royal Caribbean International, and Jesse Hamilton, who brought to us by Celebrity Cruises. So many amazing and talented performing artists we saw last evening. And how about those award winners? Congratulations again to our Hall of Fame award winners. Diane Mason for winning the Elite Cruise Counselor of the Year Award, Michael Consoli and Associates for winning the Travel Agency Innovator of the Year Award, and Michael Bailey and Gloria Bohan for winning the CLIA Lifetime Achievement Award. You know, when our Hall of Fame gala is finished every year, we wrap things up pretty quickly. And so for those of you who attended last night, if you felt inspired by the stories of the 2023 CLIA Hall of Famers, remember that every one of them started out in this business just like we all did, from ground zero. Anyone, and I mean anyone, sitting in this room right now could be up on this stage being inducted themselves in the future. You just have to believe it. If you're feeling energized and inspired, that's great, because the week is not over yet. We still have more cruise line showcases this afternoon, along with the Visit Lauderdale and Port Everglade reception from 5 to 6 p.m. Tomorrow and Sunday feature the glorious return of our live ship inspections. Who's excited to experience some of the latest ships firsthand? Me too. We will also have our sightseeing excursions on Saturday and Sunday for those scheduled to attend. And on your seats, you should have found a printed copy of the 2023 State of the Cruise Industry Report. Now, this is an important reference tool that you should find useful throughout the year. A special thank you to the CLIA Strategic Communications team for putting this together. And coming up in this session, we have our exciting Small Ship Small Talk, wait for it, Big Commissions panel, to which I am really looking forward. But first, I'd like to introduce you to one of our important sponsor partners, Disney Cruise Line.
Let's go! Let's travel to the stars. There's wonder in our hearts. It's time for the adventure of our dreams. We're way beyond the shore, even further than before. So come along and sail the shimmering seas. So come along and sail the shimmering seas.
Please welcome from Disney Cruise Line, John Leake. Welcome, John.
Charlie, thank you so much. Thank you. I love hearing that sound, don't you all out there? This is an exciting year for us at Disney Cruise Line as we celebrate 25 years of unforgettable vacations. Beginning this summer, guests can be part of the celebration on the themed Silver Anniversary sailing. Guests will enjoy limited time entertainment offerings, shimmering decorations, and is part of the celebration across all 5 of our ships. A Disney cruise combines the magic of Disney storytelling with the world-class service Disney is known for, and of course, fun for the entire family. Whether they're looking for a poolside fun or one-of-a-kind entertainment, there's something for everyone for the family on board. Let's take a look at some of that magic awaiting for us and your guests at sea.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
Thank you. And as you can see, a Disney cruise is a vacation like any other. And there's even more to look forward to. Our next ship, which was recently announced, the Disney Treasure, will set sail in 2024. And that will actually, haven't told you where it's sailing from yet. However, it's inspired by the theme of adventure and Walt Disney's love of exploration. The Disney Treasure will offer epic experiences that will immerse guests in some of the company's most legendary stories. And beginning next summer, guests can visit Disney's second island destination, the Bahamas, Lighthouse Point. We worked with Bahamian artists and advisors to create a destination that represents the natural beauty and rich culture of the Bahamas that brings Disney storytelling to life. With new ships on the horizon and incredible destinations to explore, we can't wait for guests to experience the magic waiting for them at sea with Disney Cruise Line. We hope to see you and your guests on board. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and thank you to Disney Cruise Line. Now it's time for our small ship, small talk. Wait for it. Big Commissions panel. And while the format will be a small one-on-one conversation between two people, the opportunity is quite the opposite. In fact, selling small ship cruises is something that can profoundly improve your cruise sales volume and take your commission income to the next level. And what's most interesting is the fact that small ship clients are typically easier to sell and service because they're often experienced and sophisticated travelers who require less hand-holding. This leaves you with more time to surprise and delight them in other ways to secure their future business. Small ship clients are enjoyable to work with, and I encourage you to take good notes during this panel. We will also use our audience engagement tool, Slido, in this session. Let me quickly explain again how Slido works. Take out your phone or tablet and go to slido.com in your browser. Enter the event code, Cruise360, and hit join. Click on poll. Now, the poll is not live just yet, but it will be in just a moment when we kick off our next segment. Here to help us moderate the panel is my dear friend and one of the most respected leaders in the cruise industry. Please welcome to the stage the Vice President of Cruise with Virtuoso, Melissa Araya.
The best things in life are free.
Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
So good to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charlie. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm thrilled to be here at Cruise360 to have some time with my friends to talk about small ship cruising. I manage the cruise team for Virtuoso, and I've also worked for some wonderful cruise lines, and I love cruising. And today's topic, small ship cruising, is close to my heart and is such a special experience. It's been a great week spending time with advisors who have a passion for cruise. What a wonderful industry we work in. I hear from Clea that over 57% of the Cruise360 advisor attendees this year are Clea certified or are enrolled in certification. Very impressive. Do we have anybody in the audience that's Clea certified? Woohoo! Congratulations. It's great to see business booming, and I know that travel advisors are super busy. Cruise lines are working hard on such interesting and exciting itineraries and on adding beautiful new ships and more capacity. And they're focusing more and more on sustainability. What would you say? Have you guys been busy? Well, then let's get started. To kick off, we would like to hear from you. We're curious about where you stand currently in selling small ship cruises. So if you could go to slido.com on your phone, select poll, and you'll see the first question pop up. So let's get into the first poll. Do you sell small ship cruising? Yes or no? So it looks like we have 51% of the audience that sells small ship. 50-50. Oh, we have some exciting opportunities today to really learn about some of these small ship experiences and to make you more commission, which is what Charlie said was number one. Question 2. If you don't sell small ship cruising, what is preventing you from doing it? And please select your top 2 in Slido. Is it trepidation, product unfamiliarity, price point, sourcing clients, no supplier relationship, or I don't like making lots of money? I hope it's not that. Okay. Looks like the leader is sourcing clients. So hopefully our experts today from the small ship cruise lines will be able to walk you through that and really help you to grow your business, and it'll be raining dollar bills like on that slide. So I would like to welcome my first panelist. If you could welcome to the stage the Director of Strategic Partner Networks of AMA Waterways, Diane Horan. Hi.
Hi, Melissa. So good to be here.
Have a seat.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
So I did want to mention that Gary Murphy, who is the co-owner of AMA Waterways, was going to be here with you today, but he had to fly back to California unexpectedly for a family emergency. So we have the wonderful Diane here today with us.
Clearly, I don't look a thing like him, and he would never wear this. But
I hope not. Okay. So Diane, what advice would you give the audience about selling small ship cruising, and in your case, river cruising?
of course, I'd love to give you all advice on this because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been with AMA Waterways for 15 years since we had just 2 ships, and we'll talk about how many ships we have coming up. But what I've learned is you really need to sell the value proposition of small ship cruising. Clearly, river cruising is in that market. The value is amazing. When you think of the price point, including just about everything, a river cruise ship, for those of you who haven't been, is like a floating boutique hotel floating down a river. It allows you in 8 days and 7 nights to see easily 4 countries in a really civilized way, I like to say it. And so when you're selling to clients that are considering river cruising, they often just look right at price. You need to get beyond that because the price is pretty much all-inclusive. And when you present it that way, you'll be very successful. And anyone who's been on board understands that. Actually, you know what? I'm a testimony to that. The first time I went on AMA Waterways, I went up to pay my bill at the end of my cruise, and they said, well, you don't have one. And I was like, what do you mean I don't have a bill? They're like, yeah, you didn't spend anything. And I was on AMA, of course, and I just couldn't believe it. And that's when I got it. And I said, this is amazing.
And your travel advisor made commission on all of that, right?
Of course, that's
Fabulous.
with commas.
So I've seen the commercials with Christine Kars, the co-owner of
Yes.
Amma on TV. They're wonderful.
Yes.
And she talks about Amma being the heart of the river. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so for all of you who know Amma Waterways, our brand, you probably know this, right? Does everybody have a little heart symbol? So we've always had that because Amma Waterways, actually, I was asked at lunch yesterday by someone, Diane, what does Amma mean? She's new to the business, and I know there's a lot of you really just getting into this. And I told her, Amma actually it's very meaningful to us because it actually was derived from the root of a Latin word meaning love. So I know Princess is here, but we are the love boats, the rivers, you know?
There's always room for one more, right?
But yeah, and so we put our heart and soul into everything we do. And so with Christine Kars, for those of you who know, our owners, Christine, Rudy, and Gary Murphy, they are very approachable people. And that's how we want everyone that works with Amma to be.
Yeah, they're a great group. And you actually have 28 ships as of next year?
We do. We have 28. So when I started with the company in 2008, we had 2. I had a very easy job. I had 1 brochure. Now, not so much. So we really need you. And we grew that business because of our partnerships with our travel advisors.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about destinations. So I know you do the rivers of Europe, but you also do the Nile and the Mekong. And then you have the Magdalena River in Colombia launching shortly with 2 ships.
Yeah, so when we think of river, we often think of Europe, and that is our core product at Amma Waterways. You know, close to 20 of our ships are there. However, we do have these exotic destinations, and they're really, really, really trending right now. For instance, you mentioned Egypt. Egypt, we will have 2 ships there as of next year in March. We'll have the Amma Lilia and the Amma Dahlia because we recognize there's such a trend to that destination, and it is selling well. The Mekong has always sold well, and in October of last year, we were able to go back there and start again after whatever happened.
A little
we
pause.
won't talk about, okay? And the beautiful Amadara that is there, and it is a life-changing experience to go to that part of the world, but to do it on a river is just perfect because everything is growing from the heart of the river there. And then also we have Africa. We have the beautiful Zambezi Queen, which is all of 28 passengers, 14 cabins. And we put together a program that combines a river cruise experience with land safari, traditional game viewing in the bush, with seeing Victoria Falls. And then my favorite program, the STARS program, we go to Cape Town and we go and we see the Cape of Good Hope and we go up on Table Mountain. I know,
Exciting.
It's amazing. And then Colombia.
So I understand that Rudy, the co-founder of Amma, is an explorer, and he did a lot of cruising on the Amazon and spent some time in Colombia. I love Colombia. I think it's a great destination, and how exciting that there's going to be cruising there now.
Thank you.
So can you talk a little bit about that destination?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it because it's so new and innovative. And one thing you will learn about Amma is that we are innovators in river cruising. We don't always follow, we lead. And one of the things that Christine and Rudy like to do is before they go to a destination is try it out. So they went down and did their research, and they literally fell in love with this country. I don't know how much you all know about Colombia, but if you don't, it's a really
Amazing.
trending destination now. And it is really a beautiful destination that has incredible history and culture and things unique just to it. And so the 2 new ships called the Amma Magdalena and the Amma Melodia will begin service on March 30th of next year. The one ship will be 60 passengers, the other 64, so roughly the same. And they'll be traveling between Cartagena and Barranquilla. And they will allow you to also book extensions outside of the cruise. But we are so excited about this. And guess what? Booking is open already. So we have already launched it. For those who join us on Webinar Wednesdays, every Wednesday, we started back in COVID. We did a launch on March 1st of that. So if you've missed it, it's on the TA portal. You can review it. But of course, anything you need to know about Colombia, please reach out to us, your business development manager. We will make sure you know about it. I'm as excited as everybody.
I think it's going to be great. So the Ama River, the Ama Magna, I know is, what your largest ship and does the Danube. And I understand on the Ama Magna, you've joined the pickleball craze.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about pickleballing on river cruises? That's a big thing. I live in Florida, actually, and pickleball is huge here. And when I went over there in March, I got to see my first pickleball court on the Ama Magna. So the Ama Magna, for those of you who don't know, is, I hate to use this terminology, but I'm going to, but we all laugh about it. It's our double wide. It's double the width of our normal river cruise ships. So rather than being the 38 feet in width, it's 72. But we only put 20% more passengers on it. And when we did that, that means we top out at 196 passengers, which is similar to some of the other river cruise lines that on their regular ships. So that means there's this incredible space available. Not only were we able to, on the top deck, build a pickleball court, and by the way, this is like a real pickleball court. I mean, it's the official kind, so if any of you are pickleballers out there, you're going to know. And we also were able to provide staterooms that are so extremely large in comparison. The 82% of the staterooms on the Ama Magna are 355 square feet.
That's big.
Those are the normal staterooms. The the owner's suite is a mere 710.
Wow.
But the smallest on board, our smallest on the bottom deck with the windows are 205. So it's really boasts space. It also has 4 dining rooms on board. And of course, we are known for our culinary on Ama Waterways, and also several bars. So it's very different in the river cruise space. And I often say to people, if you've been to the Danube and you have a client that wants to go back, please consider the Magna, because it's actually a destination in itself. Of course, I believe you can go to the Danube a million times and have a different trip every time, because there's so much to see.
But I feel like with the size of the ship and the pickleball, this is a great opportunity for groups.
Yeah, it is. Oh, you're right. It's such a great opportunity. Group business in the river space is it's such a great match.
Yep.
Because it's smaller, it's intimate. I mean, the average ship averages 158 to 164 passengers. When you get on board with your group, you won't lose each other. You will find each other. And also, a group on Ama is 5 cabins. You get 1 free earned for every 9 you book.
That's great.
And any promotional offer that's in the market at the time is applied to the group, plus all the other value-added options because you've done it as a group, like earning your TCs.
So we only have a minute left, but one of the things I wanted to quickly mention, which I think is really unique, is that when you're on an Ama cruise, it's my understanding that the cruise manager, if you do a post, cruise manager stays with those guests at the hotel. Is that right?
Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, that is one really special thing is our cruise manager is also our land manager. So if I'm leaving with you on the cruise or if I'm going to pick you up at your pre-hotel, which most people are booking these days because they are really extending their trips out, the cruise manager stays with from beginning to end. It's a seamless experience from start to finish.
Very unique, very unique. Any parting words?
I just want to say, we just want to thank you all, our travel partners, for everything you've done. We continue to support you 100%. We have no direct marketing strategy to consumers. Can I get a hell of over 96% of our business comes from our travel partner relationships. So we really appreciate everything you've done for us and continue to do, and we're there for you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Diane.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Oh, now let's hear from our next panelist. From Silver Sea Cruises, we have Vice President of Field Sales, the Americas, Joe Leon. Hey. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So, Joe, what's new? I wanted to ask you, can you just walk us through the fleet? Because you have some new ships coming out, is that right?
We do. We have 2 new ships going to join by 24. One this summer, the Silver Nova. So she is the newest addition to our fleet. We're very excited about that. She will be our first Royal Caribbean group new build.
Wow.
So I'm excited to see what the group can do with a small luxury space. I've always had such admiration for what they do with the larger ships. So what I've seen so far is very exciting. I'm very, very much looking forward to her launch.
So can I talk about the names of those new ships? Are they
Yes,
Nova
sorry. That's
and
the
Ray?
Silver Nova is launching in August of this year. Inaugural sailing is August 14th. And the Silver Ray will join spring of 24.
And they're open for sale through...
They are open for sale now. Our calendar is open through spring of 25. And we'll probably release the rest of 25 and 26 a little later in the year, closer to the fall.
Okay. And are they considered small ships? What is the capacity of those?
Yeah, so what I love about our ships is that we do not carry a one fits all, right?
Yeah.
There's diversity in our fleet. We range in size from 100 passengers that you sail to on the Silver Origin in the Galapagos up to the Silver Nova and the Silver Ray, which will be launched with 720. And in between, we have 254, 388 passengers, and then 600 passengers on the Muse class ship.
Great.
So we've got
A real
12
mix.
ships on sale, so we need your help.
And that's a great opportunity to sell people kind of up and around the brand. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, this is my message for the audience because I noticed that your top poll question was sourcing clientele. Well, I'm a firm believer that every single person in this room owns a luxury customer. And the first thing that we do to identify who they are is think about yourselves as consumers. You know, we've all gone through this natural progression, this evolution. I hope you're driving nicer cars than where you started, live in a nicer place, and your vacation needs have certainly changed. Your customers have also. So for those of you that have been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, pay attention to your customers' feedback when they come home. They are going through a consumer progression, and it's up to us to make sure that we listen, identify when it's time to bring products like a small ship to the forefront of the conversation. It's our responsibility as their travel advisors.
And what about the crossover from the classic fleet to expedition or vice versa? How's that sales process?
Yeah, so you know, we thought for sure we'd get classic to expedition, but what we found, and we are successful in doing so because most of expedition takes you to places that you can't see unless you go on cruise. We find that we source a lot of new to cruise on expedition for that same reason.
Excellent.
And you know, expedition and classic are two completely different platforms. So please make sure that you're advising your customers correctly. We don't go ashore on tenders. There's certainly no museums or cafes to visit when you're doing an expedition. This is a true exploration. You're going ashore on rubber Zodiacs. Many times you're making wet landings, so pack your rubber boots. But this becomes some of the most precious memories my customers have, and they rave about it. And they start in places like Antarctica and end up going to Papua New Guinea.
Is there such a thing as soft expedition?
No, there is no such thing as soft expedition. You're either on an expedition cruise or you're not. Some of us offer lighter expedition options while you're on, but the idea of expedition is exploration. You're out ashore, you're there with our naturalists, our guides, our scientists, and they're there to explain to you the region that you're in and, of course, explore the wildlife that you find. And some of the Inuit communities that we visit are really special moments. But there is no light expedition. We have lighter walks, lighter beach combs, but the expedition platform is built for exploration.
For exploration.
Now, anybody can do it. And I joke often. I tell Melissa that if you can play an 18-round hole round of golf or spend all day shopping on Black Friday and survive, then you can do an expedition cruise. So please.
That's the perfect example.
Yeah.
So tell me about SALT, the SALT program. Is that on all of your ships? Can you tell us what it is? And is it considered specialty?
Yes. So SALT is a concept that was born out of our promise to our consumers and to you, our advisors. We promise you destination focus, and we really feel that that is the top differentiator and top pillar of our brand. How we plan, how we build the ships is all focused on destination and bringing that destination to life. SALT was built, it stands for sea and land taste. It doesn't mean that we're going to oversalt your food. And the idea behind this program, we built an ecosystem on board. We've got 3 different venues. This is open to the entire ship. We've got a large dining venue that sits up to 200 passengers. It's called the Salt Kitchen. And the concept in this kitchen, in this restaurant, is your menu changes daily. As an industry, we've been promising your customers that the food matches their destinations, but without a dedicated galley, it's really hard to pull that off. And so what we've done with Salt is we've dedicated all the right areas so that we can change your menu daily. So every day you will find a portion of the menu that's dedicated to the specific port, and another portion of the menu that's dedicated to the general region that you're sailing in. We have the Salt Bar, which does the same thing for alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. I discovered that there are over 30 different gins that are made in Portugal.
Wow.
I didn't try all 30, but I discovered that there were at least 30.
Well, I would think margaritas are popular at the Salt Bar.
Yes, right. Yeah,
Right?
and 50 different wines in Greece. And then you have the Salt Lab, which is our test kitchen environment. We want it to be more than just a cooking class, right? We want you to hear from local artisans, local culinary experts to come in and really explain to you why it is that we use certain ingredients. We feel that food tells you a lot about a culture. It tells you about its history, its origins, and really can bring a culture to life. So that's what Salt is designed to do. And in the Salt Kitchen, or Salt Lab, I always say, you're not going to be preparing a risotto in Singapore. It'll be region appropriate. And then we have salt excursions and experiences that go ashore. And those are not part of the included program. But together, we feel the guy who put together Salt, he gave me this line. He says, it's an ecosystem of culinary curiosity. And at first, I kind of looked at him like,
You must be in marketing.
you want a job in sales, that's pretty good. But in reality, that's what it is, because you have this great ecosystem. You can enjoy little essence of it on their own, these three venues, or you can really take the entire program, which encompasses this really immersive experience. And Salt for us has been a game changer. It's available currently on 2 ships. It will be on the 2 new builds. Again, the dedicated space is a challenge, and refitting ships that have already been built for the ventilation and things like that has proven challenging, but we do have Salt experiences on the other vessels. So you can experience Salt in some way, shape, or form throughout the entire fleet.
Great. And now I understand that the shore excursions are now included on Silversea, which is a great commission opportunity because that's rolled into the pricing. Is
That's
that right?
exactly right. Yeah, it's included in the cruise fare, and for us, it's important that we present you a strong value proposition to bring to your customers. I said it earlier, bringing passengers up from the lower markets can be difficult when they're looking and focusing on a price, on a number. You as advisors, your customers process 2 numbers in this transaction, the price they called you for and the cost they realize when they get home. And on Silversea, it really is 1 number. And we do that because we include air. We include the transfers naturally. Then once you get on board, you have this all-inclusive environment where we include not only the excursions, the beverages, the gratuities, the Wi-Fi. We really want to be the strongest value proposition in the industry so that your conversation on encouraging your customers to move up to the next market becomes that much easier. Build comparisons for your folks. Take the lower level lines, take our product, and compare. Compare the cost of adding all of these other items that are already included with Silversea, and you'll find often that we get to the same number. Sometimes we're a little less.
That's great, especially with hotel rates the way they are these days, and some of the add-ons that many cruise lines have. What about the spa? I read about the Otium spa that you can actually have champagne when you're getting a massage.
That's right. Yeah, Otium spa. I wouldn't go too far down the wellness track. Because we are serving you dark chocolates and champagne.
It's my kind of wellness.
If that's what you want. But the idea for that was indulgence, right? And I think that that's what spa should be. And we took that from the old Roman concept of indulgence. And we don't want this to be so transactional. Spa, you come in, you've made an appointment, you sit, someone sees you, you pay, and you leave. Well, we want to give you relaxing areas. We want you to have areas that you feel that you can come and visit throughout. And beyond that, extend that to other areas of the ship. We have other programs that are delivered to you in your suite, like a bath experience where your butler will come and prepare a bubble bath for you, or sea salts and different bath salts that we have available. We have a 9-pillow menu that you could choose from. And then, of course, the indulgences that we serve in suite with different snacks. If you want to watch a movie one night, you can have chocolate popcorn with caviar on the side for other snacks and things like that. So we wanted to take the Otium experience outside of that dedicated spa space and make essence of it available throughout the vessel and throughout your journey.
I love that. And I think, as you said, if you look at the Silver Sea total price,
Yeah.
and you look at the per diems,
Yeah.
and what's included, and the fact that it's all commissionable to the advisor, that's a pretty good deal.
It is. It's we have commission checks with commas in them, and you all have customers that can bring them to you. So sourcing your customer is not the most difficult thing. It's identifying which one of those within your existing client base are the ones to have this conversation with first. You all have them, I'm sure of it.
Well, Silver Sea has an Italian flair,
Yeah.
right? You've certainly had some flair up here today. So thank you so much, Joe. And we are looking forward to the new ships coming out and setting sail with Silver Sea.
Great. Thank you, my friend. Great to see
Thank you.
And thank all of you.
Thanks so much. So now, let's welcome to the stage the Managing Director of Scenic Group, Ken Muscat. Hey, Ken. Hi there.
How are you?
Good.
Good afternoon. It's so great to be here. This is my first time on a small ship panel.
Well,
Usually
it's
I've done
about
the big
time,
ship panels, and I like the small
right?
ships.
So this is kind of a newish role for you. How long have you been with Scenic?
4 months.
Wow. And how's it going?
It's going great.
Good.
Yeah, it has been super, super exciting. The amount of stuff we've done in just the last 4 months since I joined has been nonstop, and I've been learning a lot, and it's just great. Love it.
So speaking of new, I wanted to ask you, what's new with the brands? I know you have new ships coming out. You have a new show.
Yep.
Can you tell our audience about what's happening with Scenic?
Sure. There's so much going on with both Scenic Luxury Cruises and Tours and Emerald Cruises, and a lot of the focus is on building the brand awareness in the U.S. market. We come from Australia. We're an Australian-born company, predominantly Australia, UK, Americans, Canadians on board. Major focus now is on growing the U.S. market, which is where all of you come in very handy, and appreciate all of your support and growth with us. And in order to do that, we're doing some very exciting things. I mean, first of all, we just had Scenic Eclipse 2 come out 2 weeks ago. So we're doubling our ocean fleet because Scenic Eclipse 2 just came out. She's on her inaugural voyage right now. And then Emerald Sakara comes out in August for the Emerald brand. And as we spoke about earlier, their godmother is the president and CEO of CLIA, Kelly Craighead.
Kelly.
So we're super excited to have her name the ship. Ship comes out, thank you. Ship comes out in August, and then we're going to have the naming ceremony in December. And then to build brand awareness, besides just having 2 new ships come out this year, currently our head of F&B, Tom, is on Bravo Top Chef. Anybody watch Top Chef?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's on Top Chef Global All-Stars. So he was the winner in Germany, and now they're all competing. I think he's already made it through 6 episodes, so he's still competing. And then we just announced yesterday, which I cannot explain how incredible this is going to be, a partnership with Discovery and Warner Brothers. So starting May 13th on Discovery Channel, there's going to be every Saturday for 5 weeks, 11 to 12, a show on Discovery about Scenic Eclipse. And it's a docu-series all about her journey from San Diego down to Antarctica.
That's exciting.
And features the captain and the expedition team and the F&B team. And this is a show that is literally, and I'm telling you this not only so you guys can all see it, but share it with your clients. Because when your clients see what goes on this show, and it's literally like hair stand up on your arm, can't wait to tune in the next week to see what happens, they are definitely going to want to book one of the Scenic Eclipse ships. So very, very exciting and great for brand awareness.
Yeah, it sounds like a great social media opportunity for advisors to sell
Huge,
Expedition.
huge. Yeah, over the next few weeks, keep an eye out in your email box. We're going to be sending out a lot of promo videos, social media materials, things for you to be able to send out to your clients, because this is just a great way to reach a huge audience with Discovery and really introduce people to small ship cruising and expedition, which is great for all of us.
High ticket item, so it's great. Ken, can you help us differentiate between the 2 brands, Scenic and Emerald, River and Yacht? I understand the yachts are relatively small, which is wonderful. So can you just walk us through that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think the easiest thing is, I'm excited that we've got 2 brands, and both brands offer River, both brands offer Ocean, and then Scenic, of course, offers Expedition. So there's great growth opportunity between the brands and between the products for your clients. Scenic is all-inclusive, ultra-luxury. You don't pay for anything extra. It's 100% all-inclusive, whether it's ocean, whether it's river, completely taken care of. Emerald River is nearly all-inclusive. You do pay for some extra things, and many things come with the price. And it's a little bit more around, a little bit younger demographic, a little bit more around health and wellness and adventure. The ships are designed a little bit more contemporary. Emerald River, for example, has this beautiful indoor pool on the back of the ship, and then at night, the floor raises, the pool goes away, it becomes a movie theater under the stars. So things like that differentiate the river brands. The ocean is very, very easy to differentiate because Scenic is 228 guests, 2 helicopters, 1 submarine, the only ships out there to actually have 2 helicopters and 1 submarine. And they do the poles and everything in between. So Arctic to Antarctica and everything in between. 9 specialty restaurants on board, 24-hour room service, 100% butler service, all-inclusive, like I said. And then the Emerald yachts, Emerald Azora and Emerald Sakara, which is coming out soon, is really warm water. Those are Mediterranean and Caribbean, only 100 guests. And I'll tell you, when I first joined the company, many people said, when you sail on these ships, it feels like you're on your own yacht. And I thought, well, what does that really mean? I just got off doing a few days from Greece to Turkey, and it literally does feel like you are on a multi-billionaire's personal yacht.
Great to do the Mediterranean.
It is really, really, really incredible. And it's just got all the toys and all the exotic destinations. And, because of the benefit of small ships being able to pull up to very exotic ports of call. So that's kind of how you differentiate the 2 brands.
And what about the price point? Is it similar? Would it be great to start someone on Emerald and then move them over to Scenic, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think it depends on the destination and kind of what they're looking for. As a general rule, I would say the Emerald brand is in the $800 to $900 per person per day. Scenic brand is in the $1,200 to $1,400 per person per day, which, by the way, we are talking about how to earn great commission.
Yeah.
So when you multiply that times long cruises, that's a lot of commission right there, which is great for everybody. And so that's kind of the difference. Scenic is definitely, because it's all-inclusive, is a little bit higher, more ultra-luxury. But both are very much a great value, as we've all spoken about. And when you think about everything that is included, and you're on, whether it's a river cruise that's all-inclusive or one of the ocean yachts, and you have all these amenities and all these toys and all these great destinations, for the value, there's really nothing like it.
Yeah. And you talked, I understand that you have an open bridge where guests can just go in and see the captain, which is somewhat unusual, and I think it's such a great opportunity for people.
Yeah, it really is. Thanks for bringing that up. The nice thing about the small ships is not only do you build a great relationship with the guests on board, but you build a great relationship with the crew. And our captains, and this is on Scenic and Emerald, River and Ocean, all of our ships, we have an open bridge policy. So you can go up there at any time. You can grab the binoculars, you can look out, you can go daytime, nighttime. I highly recommend going at night if you've never done it, because it really is a completely different experience. And when you're on the Scenic ships, the Scenic Ocean ships, the expedition team is usually up there, and they're always looking for the wildlife and things to point out. So you can just be hanging out there with them at any time.
That's incredible. I love going to the bridge.
Yeah. Another nice benefit of the small ship cruising,
Intimate.
to have those kinds of relationships. It's very much around building relationships and stories to come back and share with your friends and family, and that's a big part of it.
So I think on the new yachts, you have electric submersibles?
Yeah, so on the Scenic Eclipse 1 and 2, we had, as I mentioned, the 2 helicopters and the submarine. The submarine on Scenic Eclipse 2 is actually designed a little bit differently, so it holds more people, and everybody is facing front, but everything is very environmentally friendly. So they're electric, no noise. The helicopters are very fuel efficient. The ships are built with hulls that are icebreakers and that are very good for the environment and make sure that we're not upsetting the marine life or anything. So that's a very big part of everything that we do. We give everybody water bottles so we don't have plastic on board. So all of that, we continue to improve on that as we build more and more ships.
Sustainability,
Yep.
which is so important.
Big focus, yep.
Destinations with River. Do you do any exotic destinations or mostly Europe, or what are
Yes,
some of the...
mostly Europe and Asia, the Danube and the Rhine and Vietnam, Cambodia. We've got 22 river ships between both brands. So there's definitely a lot of great destinations between Europe and Asia that you can choose from.
Great. And what about the mix? You talked about being an Australian-founded company. What is the demographic mix of passengers on Scenic? Are there a lot of North Americans or...
Yeah, I find the mix is very complementary. It's mostly Americans, Brits, Canadians, and Australians. It's a very English-speaking, very, very complementary when everybody's together on board. And the Americans today, our U.S. market is making up about 25% of the overall business for the company. The goal is to get us well above 50%. Right now, Australia is the #1 source market. As I mentioned, the goal is to get the U.S. to be the #1 source market, and we're doing that because, number one, we doubled our ocean capacity. We've got a lot of river ships out there, and we want to continue to grow. And in order to grow, we need all of you who are in the U.S. market to get the brand awareness out there, find the guests that are willing to do these luxury vacations. And one of the things that I'll mention, as I saw on the poll, because there's so many people that are still unfamiliar with it, don't only think within the cruise category. One of the things I like to talk about is the people that are doing African safaris today, the people that are doing glamping in Montana, the people that are doing exotic ski vacations. These are people that are spending the same kind of money, if not more. Yeah. And they want to plan their African safari this year, and they want to plan Antarctica next year. So go after people that could be first-time cruisers. They're the people that are the luxury, the adventure, the discovery, and they've got the discretionary income to spend.
That's a really good point. So for an advisor that wants to sell Scenic, what would be the next step?
I would say the next step, if you're not already working with us, is definitely register with us on our travel agent portal, on our travel advisor portal. We have regional sales directors all over the country, so we'll immediately assign you a regional sales director. Learn as much as possible. We're constantly doing webinars. We've got great materials out there. Sign up for our newsletter and just learn as much as you can about the brands. And believe it or not, even though it is hard sometimes with small ship cruising to do a lot of FAMs because the ships are open jaw and they're sailing all over the place, we actually right now on the West Coast have Scenic Eclipse, and right now we have 64 travel advisors on board. So we do sometimes have these opportunities when the ships are on the West Coast or East Coast to bring you on board, and that's something that the regional sales director can work with you on.
So reach out to your regional sales director and let's sell some cruises. Thank you very much, Ken.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Well, now I would like to welcome to the stage the Director of Sales for Windstar Cruises, Diana Rahm. Hi there.
Everybody. So,
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
see you.
Good. Nice to see you too.
Yes. Wow, look at this crowd.
Love it. Love it. And it's Friday.
Yep.
Friday.
Absolutely.
So, Windstar, what a lovely brand, So you guys have a total of 6 ships.
We do.
3 sailing ships and 3 power yachts.
Yes.
And I did not know, actually, Charlie Sylvia was the one that told me that if a ship with Windstar starts with wind, it is a sailing ship. And if it starts with Star, it's a power yacht.
Yes. So we have 2 classes of ships. We have our Wind class and we have our Star class. Our Star class are our all-suite yachts, and they tend to be in the more exotic areas, places that are in colder waters. And then we also have the Wind class that you're going to find them in the warmer waters, but where they're most popular is in Greece. So we do a lot of Greek Isle sailings.
I bet that's amazing.
Yeah, and for our travel advisors, that's the easiest sell. Who in this room doesn't want to go to Greece? I mean, come on.
On a sailing yacht.
Everybody wants to go to Greece, exactly. So.
Which ship does Tahiti?
Currently, it is the Wind Spirit. So the Wind Spirit is a sailing ship. So to be honest, there's no better way to see Tahiti than on a sailing ship. However, in February of 2024, we're going to be moving the new Star Class Star Breeze into Tahiti. And the reason for that is we want the ability to bring more guests to Tahiti because it's just an absolutely beautiful destination. If you haven't been there, you need to talk to our president, Chris Prelog, because it's his favorite place in the whole wide world. But we're going to be expanding and bringing an all-suite yacht to Tahiti, and we're going to be able to go further with it. So not only will we be doing the Society Islands, but we're also going to be out into the Marquesas, and there's very few ships that can actually get into the Marquesas. So.
Yeah, and if you've ever been to Tahiti on a land vacation, it is so expensive. So really, cruising is the only way to go, I think. It's a really smart way.
It really is. And, you know, if you haven't sold Tahiti, it's a difficult location sometimes to sell because it is so far away and so few people get to go there. I mean, there's as many people in a day that go to Hawaii, go to Tahiti in a year. So, you know, you're really looking at a location that not a lot of people know about, but everybody wants to go to. And we have packages that include your air, your pre-hotel, your post-hotel. So we've got nice little packages that make it really easy for you to sell this destination, and it's very affordable.
And great commissions on those packages.
And absolutely,
we like that.
Great commissions on those packages. I mean, and it usually is one of the locations that bring people to Windstar in the first place, and it's because people want to go to Tahiti, and there's not a lot of cruise ships that are there. But with a 60% return rate, you also have an easy next sale. So
yeah. Now, in Tahiti, the new destination, can I talk about the new destinations?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have some destinations that have not been open to tourism before that you're going to be visiting, right?
So for those of you that were in our breakfast this morning, you heard our announcements or any of our workshops that we're doing. Windstar is sailing to the Middle East starting this year. And it's a pretty exciting destination. It's new for us. I think it's new for everybody in this room. The Middle East is just opening up to tourism, and there's no better way, there's no safer way to see this beautiful destination except by cruise ship. I mean, you see so much in such a short period of time. We have 15 different itineraries to choose from, but the great thing about it is I think in today's world, everybody wants to do something different. They want to immerse themselves in a culture, in something new that they've never done before, that they've never tried before. And the Middle East, I think, is the next new and upcoming destination for sure.
And don't you have one doing the Formula One race in Saudi Arabia?
Yes, we do. So we already do Formula One in Monaco, so we sell out with that sailing every single year. It does very, very well. We're beginning to build other itineraries around Formula One racing, and that's a really good niche market for anyone here that has friends that like to do Formula One because they tend to go in groups. But we actually will be doing the one in Abu Dhabi this year, which is the only night race. So it's the last race of the season. It's also a night race. It's the most exciting race that you can be in. So that's in November of this year.
And Diana, do you have space on those voyages?
We do. I will also tell you that just yesterday on that particular sailing, we sold a group of 50 people. So
Wow.
It is going quickly. So, and I think it's the same thing. And it was from somebody at this event, by the way. They took out a block when they found out that we had the Formula One. So take advantage of what you've learned at this event. Don't be afraid to try something new.
Speaking of taking out a block, I love your group program. I think for advisors, if they have, even friends and family and they want to build a group, it's a stress-free way to build a group. So can you talk a little bit about that?
So honestly, I think with group, it's all about what you have a passion for. You're going to have groups that come to you that are, it's friends and families. They already know what they want to do, where they want to go, and who they want to travel with. The most successful travel advisors that I've worked with have sold a passion. And I'll give you, I actually have two quick stories. I probably have time for one. But I have a travel advisor that we were having a contest one year. She's out of Cleveland. And I said to her, hey, listen, we're having a contest. Put a group on the books. I don't care if it sells or not. Because our groups are risk-free. You can take out a group date, and what we do is we hold those rates for you. So you don't have to sign contracts. You don't have to give us a deposit. So my friend Peg said, okay, fine, I'll do it. So she went ahead and put together a group and was hoping to sell 10 people. She ended up selling 72 people. What that meant for her was $7,200 bonus commission, $16,300 in tour conductor credit, and over $23,000 in commission. She threw it against the wall. She sold it to the group that she boats with in the summer, and look what she did. Give it a try.
Yeah, it's great, and it's price protected, which is just a foolproof way, I think, to build a group.
Yes, and I have lots of stories. Catch me after. I'll be happy to share.
From the culinary perspective, I know you have an affiliation with the James Beard Foundation, but you also have a healthful focus. Can you talk about those two things?
Yes. So we're the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation, and if you're not familiar with that, this is a culinary accreditation that most chefs try to be part of. So WinStar took that on a few years ago and became the official cruise line of the James Beard Foundation. And what that means is we work with that foundation to create our menus. We have those chefs come on board and actually teach our staff. So there's a lot that goes along with that. This year we expanded it. So this year we worked with the National Health Association and we've created a plant-based menu or plant-based travel program. And a lot of you may be vegetarians, you've traveled, and you've had vegetarian meals, and you get a choice of one or two. We actually have gone further, and we've developed an entire cruising program around plant-based. Don't worry, we still have the lobster, we still have the steak, we still have everything else that you want. But for those that can't travel because they are plant-based, we've created something for them. And just to give you an idea of why I think this is important for you, we have a travel advisor 2 years ago that went from 0 revenue with WinStar to over $2.3 million in 2 years. So this is opportunities for you that you can, you may not be plant-based yourself. I'm vegetable-free, so I understand that. But you have the opportunity. There's other people that like vegetables. I mean, you might have somebody at your own table who likes to eat vegetables. So, it's just something that's really up and coming.
Now, WinStar was voted most romantic cruise line, and I know you have a family story to share about that.
So I'll be honest, there was a little bit of discussion in the back about who was the most romantic cruise line.
Ponant was mad.
Yeah, it was bad. But we have won awards for the best romantic cruise line in Tahiti. Now, some of it may have been destination, I don't know. But this year, we actually do a lot of romance packages. We do a lot of vow renewals on board our ships. But our own president, Chris Prelog, and his wife, they actually renewed their vows this year on board our ship, which was pretty cool. Well, we thought it was pretty cool until this year he told us that he was going to the Formula One race and they were doing it again. And we're like, is this something you do every time you want to bring your wife somewhere? But in addition to that, my daughter actually got engaged. She thought she was doing our romance package. She's done photo shoots for us before. She thought she was doing our romance package, had it all ready, and when she came down to the part where we were taking pictures of the ceremony, her new fiance, actually got on his knees and proposed to her. So it's a really great way to do all these fun things. And because we're small, we can customize things for your guests just like that.
Internet, which I know is really important to all of us that like to work while we're on board. Starlink, you're using the new Starlink on WinStar, is that right?
I am. So, that has good and bad with it. So the bad is I enjoyed being on board the ship and never having internet because that's what it was before Starlink. Now that I'm on Starlink, we're expected to work and be on all these sales calls all the time and be on these video calls, but we have introduced Starlink on our 3 Star-class ships as of this point. The Wind class is coming shortly after. So we're back. We're actually in the year 2023 now. So
are your guests loving it?
They absolutely love it. I mean, we actually did a poll. The funny thing was, we did a poll. We can pull down what people are doing, and most people are listening to iTunes on it. So, it's kind of funny, how it's all working.
Yeah,
yes.
you can do gaming and whatever else you like to do when you're on a beautiful Tahiti cruise, right?
Yes. So.
Well, Diana, we have about 30 seconds left. Any parting words?
I just want to thank you all for, taking the time to be here, to learn more about travel, to become, CLIA certified travel advisors. That's really important to, all of us, to all of the brands that are out here, just because, we want to partner with you and we want to help you. Don't feel bad at all ever about reaching out to your regional sales manager to, regardless of what company that you're working with. That's what we're here to do. We want to support you. We want to make you successful because quite honestly, when you are, so are we. So
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Well, I would like to welcome our 5th panelist to the stage now. I want to welcome the Vice President of Trade Relations for American Cruise Line, Susan Schultz.
If I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, well, I'd buy you a cake.
Hi there.
Hi.
A nice
Welcome.
Thank you.
If I had $1 million.
I like that music. I guess you guys go through the South and the West and little country. So American Cruise Lines is family owned, is that right?
That is correct.
And how many years has it been family owned? I mean, it was founded, obviously, family
Well, we've
owned.
actually been in the cruise business for 50 years, believe it or not. I can say I've been with the company 26 of those years. So it's been a very good relationship. Charles Robertson was the founder of the company, and now his 3 sons run the business. And they are just doing a phenomenal job. They're taking it to a totally different level of small ship cruising right here in your backyard.
That's exciting. And does the family feeling translate to the onboard experience?
It does. I mean, it is all about the personalization when our guests are on board. You know, we're small enough. We hold between 100 and 190 guests. We get to know everyone's names. If they need something, we get it to them right away. That's what it's all about. It's about, you know, when I go on board our ships, it's like I come on board and it's my family. And you feel right at home right away. That's the really great thing about small ship cruising.
Fabulous. So you have river boats, river ships, coastal cats. Can you talk to us a little bit about your fleet?
I can. Well, I wish I could talk to you 26 years ago when we just had one ship that held 49 guests, but I can't talk about that now. We now have 17 ships, and we have different types of brands of ships. So it's really important that the advisors really understand our product so that you can actually sell it to the correct client. We have coastal ships that do Alaska, Puget Sound, all along the East Coast as well. And we also have Independence class, which is a smaller coastal ship that does those areas as well too. Then we also offer the paddle wheelers on the Columbia Snake River and the Mississippi River. And then we have what I think is one of the new, more innovative, the more demand that I see is for the modern river boats. They're absolutely gorgeous. They hold approximately no more than 190 guests. And they can really, they're more about not the Victorian flavor, it's more a simple sophistication when you're on board. And I think that's what our guests are really looking for, Melissa. Now I save the last for best, which we call the CATS class. Has anyone ever heard of the CAT class? Nobody? I got to get you guys on our website. Oh, I got to see a few. Well, we're so excited about it because it's a hybrid catamaran that could really go on the ocean as well as inland on any rivers because of the shallow draft. And it only holds 100 guests. Can you imagine the experience that your clients will have on board when they come on board our ships?
You know, your itineraries are kind of like the See America tour, which I just love, but there are 2 that really struck me. One was you do a Napa Valley cruise, and you're doing a 60-day cruise with all the national parks. Can you talk about those 2 experiences?
Well, first I'd like to say 60-day cruise. What is that? Are you doing some arithmetic in your head for commission?
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
A lot of dollars there, guys. So, and you know what? To sell a 60-day, it's just as easy to sell a 7-day. You're going to do just as much work because we're doing all the air, we're doing all the land, any hotels that are involved. We're handling all that. All you're doing is selling that 1-day cruise. But it isn't amazing that we are doing a 60-day cruise that's going to actually get your guests to 25 different states in the United States. I think one thing I always try to tell people is, you know what? People go to Europe all the time. They go all over the country, different countries. But we have to remember, we have an absolutely beautiful country. We really do. And it's so diversified from the Columbia Snake River or Alaska over to Maine coast where you get lobster galore. I mean, we do have a gorgeous country and it's very different. And I think a lot of guests are, after COVID-19, things changed. And I think it's very easy for your guests to come on board our ships. Sometimes they can drive, sometimes take a train, or they could fly. So it's very easy to do domestic cruising with us.
Yes, and this cruise you have sailing, and then you bus people, and then you get on another river, right? So it's very diverse.
So they actually are able to experience 4 of our ships, as well as our land package, which is the national parks, which does Glacier, it does Yellowstone, and it does the Grand Teton National Parks, which is just it really is an amazing adventure.
So tell us about Napa Valley, because last time I was in Napa, there was no river there. I mean, I drank a lot of wine, but it wasn't that much.
There is a Sacramento River there, and that is where we go. We go out of Sacramento for a 7-night itinerary. We just started that
this spring, and it was extremely popular.
Wow. I mean, I think for like a girls' trip or a group on that cruise would be a great. And what about your group program? How does that work?
Well, we have a really easy group program, like a lot of my colleagues just were experiencing. And I think it's really nice. You only have to purchase one ticket. You are guaranteed that cost and that price. You get a discount for a group, and we can add amenities. You can maybe even do a private cocktail hour. Because we're small enough, it's very easy to accommodate those. And also, keep in mind, some of our ships hold 100 guests. How many of you have ever done a 100-guest group? I know there's some out there because I've talked to you. So you can actually even charter it. When you charter it, we can do all kinds of inventive things for it.
Exciting. Culinary. Tell us a little bit about I know you have a culinary center. That's where your air department is in Salt Lake.
We just opened up. We have our headquarters in Connecticut. And that was always our biggest area, is our headquarters in Connecticut. Then we started our sales office out in Salt Lake City, but we also have now our customer service office out there, as well as our air program, because we do have domestic air that we do out on our programs. And then we have just, literally within the last couple of weeks, have opened up a new training facility in Salt Lake City, and it is really concentrating on our culinary experiences and training for our staff.
So, Susan, if an advisor was going to sell a cruise on American Cruise Lines, do you have passengers that would try, different ships in your fleet that they could retain them within that brand?
I think once they experience our ships once, it's really all about the destination. Because all of our ships, we have the same amenities throughout our fleet. They just need to see which, some of them really like the modern river boats, but once they get on board, our guests, we have a loyalty program for our guests, and after the 10th cruise, they receive a complimentary. I have to tell you, there was a couple of guests that were on board maybe when we just announced the 60-day cruise. It was announced just on board, not there. We had some people that purchased it, but they didn't just do the 60-day. They added 3 more cruises.
Wow. So if you buy 10 cruises, you get a free one?
Yes.
Wow. Pretty good deal. What about your air department? You have your own employees. It's not outsourced. It's easy to reach them because that's a little bit of a challenge.
As an advisor, you would say if you want the air or not, and we put it on, and then we will contact you, and we will coordinate the air for you.
And I see that you've been doing some advertising. I see that you're sponsoring figure skating, and you do the Antiques Roadshow.
We do, and it's kind of fun. The Antique Roadshow, we actually let the guests that we go to, we actually go to it, and they bring on one of their gifts that they want to appraise. So it's really, and it's backstage, so it's all private. We do a lot of private things with our guests.
So you're driving customers to your brand?
Yes.
So if I'm an advisor that hasn't sold American Cruise Lines, can you help me with my pitch?
Well, you know what? You guys took that poll, and I noticed the second one was unfamiliar with the product. And I really think with American Cruise Lines, my advice to all of you advisors is to go on our portal and really get to know the product. We're growing so fast. There's a lot of different itineraries out there that I think your guest, and I heard it because I was talking to an advisor, and she says, you know what? I have these people that ask me about it, but I honestly don't know about it. So I think that's what it is. It's the education. If you get to know about it and also share the stories, and how we say it is, I was hearing somebody saying, the guests go on board and they start sharing their stories with their guest. And one of our missions with American Cruise Lines is we're sharing America's stories on the greatest small ships in the U.S. And I think those are the stories, the America stories, the American Revolution, the Civil War cruises. I mean, that's what we're sharing with your guests, and then they go off and share with their friends.
So a lot of history.
A lot of history.
And you have BDMs in the field that can work with advisors, is that right?
Absolutely. We do have BDMs that cover the whole entire country. They're there for you. We have a lot of tools on our website for you, which I highly advise using. We'll do events with you where we really are there. You're our biggest asset. We need you. We're growing. We have 17 ships with 3 more ships coming out next year. So we need you.
And how would an advisor find their BDM?
All they have to do is go online.
Go online?
Yeah.
They can find who's ever in their
Or they
region?
could call us. We'll tell you.
Okay, great. Any parting words? We have 30 seconds.
I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Clea, for inviting us. And also thank you, advisors. You make the world of difference to our product. And I really appreciate all your time and effort in selling our product. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Well, now we're ready for Avalon. So I would like to welcome to the stage the Senior Director of National Accounts for Avalon Cruises, Kristen Steele. I like the song.
I know. How do you know we work hard for the money?
We work hard for the money. Hi there, girl. Oh, this is exciting.
I know.
So, Kristen, I understand that Avalon has 14 ships, but you're adding a new one for the Douro. Is that right?
We are. We are sailing on the Douro starting March of 2024. You asked for it, so we're excited to announce that the new ship name is called the Alegria, means happiness in Portuguese, 102 passengers. And the best part is, y'all are selling it. It's over 60% sold out for 2024 already.
Wow.
And now we know from Joe that there was, over 30 varieties of gin in Portugal?
Yes, yes.
I
Hot off
learned
the
that
presses.
today.
Yeah, that's exciting. Your ships, I think your ships are really unique in the whole window setup and the panoramic balconies, I think they're called. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we are a suite fleet of the 14 in Europe. They're 200 square foot staterooms, and it's almost like a panorama balcony. It's a panorama stateroom, and it's an open air balcony. So really, and I know Diane mentioned earlier, this 38 feet across. So these 200 square foot staterooms really give you the creature comforts we like, interior and privacy. And then the fact that you're docked more than you sail on the rivers, it really gives you that open air, and the beds face out. I know many of you came by the booth last night and took pictures of our cruising elevated with our big wave wall where it looked like you were in the stateroom.
Because that's a big thing to have your toes face the windows, right?
It is, and you have to do the picture when you do it. Everyone does it.
Okay.
It's a thing now.
Now, when I'm on a river ship, I love to get room service for breakfast. Tell us about your offering for...
Yes, so we have a unique variety of dining on Avalon on all of our ships, consistent. We have not only an aft lounge on all of our ships, but we also offer complimentary continental breakfast for room service. We do picnic lunches. Imagine a beautiful day in Paris or Vienna, and you come back to the ship after your included sightseeing, and then you can have a nice picnic lunch, take a complimentary bicycle off the ship, and have a nice little romantic lunch somewhere along the riverbanks.
So speaking of bicycles and activity, I think one of the hallmarks of Avalon is your active discovery program. And I think that actually skews the guests a little bit younger. Is that right?
It does. We, on Avalon, like to say that we're about 5 years younger than a typical river cruise client. And then the active discovery are skewing about another 5 years younger than that. Are we targeting younger clientele? No, it's just happening. We've seen some very active 90-year-olds and some very inactive 40-year-olds, okay? But it is opening up a new target client. And I think a lot of your poll question earlier was finding that clientele. So I think these 7 itineraries, we offer active and discovery on every single Avalon, but on 7 specific itineraries, that would be like your 80% of the inclusions are going to be more active and discovery. It could be a painting class. It could be an underground wine tasting in a cave. It could be a strudel making class. I've learned that it's not for me. It's a lot more difficult than it looked. I just came back from Budapest 2 weeks ago where we did a reenactment of a medieval night tournament in Visgrad. It was amazing. So really is kind of finding that core client. They're out there. They may not know it yet. You may not know who they are, but they're out there.
Okay. One of the things I think is so interesting and fun is the storyteller series that you have. I know you had Diana Garibaldon from Outlander, you had Candace Bushnell from Sex and the City, and you also had Cheryl Strayed in your storyteller series. I imagine those sell pretty well, and they're probably good for groups. Is that right?
They're great for groups. So on Avalon Waterways, 4 cabins, 8 people is a group, and you start to earn your tour conductor credits. So we talk about big commissions, right? I keep seeing all the money signs back there. And so you do earn 1 free per passenger for every 10 paid. But with these storyteller and also our special interest cruises, there's another reason. So we talk about finding those clients. There's another reason for you to go out there and market to them. Diana Gabaldon, Outlander. Anybody Outlander fans out there? So here's another idea, book clubs, right? You're trying to find that small ship cruiser. We're all talking backstage. One of you all went out and mentioned a book club to the Outlander fans, and she sold a group within 2 days, right? And it was 10 cabins. We're excited to announce that Diana Gabaldon is coming back to sail on us again in, I think it's April of 24, to market her new book, Go Tell the Bees, right? I think it's sold out. That fast. But are they river clients? Are they small ship clients? No, they want to sail with her. So again, it's opening that window to finding that core client and kind of that trepidation you have of who they are. And then for those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, I just posted last night, Graham McTavish, also from the Outlander. So you Outlander fans out there, we have another Kilts, Fun, and Fairy Tales on the Rhine, and that will be in the fall of 24.
That'll be good. Isn't he doing commercials for Avalon now?
Yes, he is on our commercial. So if you go to our portal, you'll see his...
It's cute.
Yeah, well, that's why people want to sail with him.
So is there space on that sailing with him?
Yes, there is space.
Sign me up.
We just announced it about a week ago.
So that's a great one if you have fans of Outlander to put together, just one booking or 10 bookings. Yes. Any other that you can share, storytellers coming up?
No, not coming up, but it is successful. And you can, if you have your own local hero or someone that has a following, and I think the biggest thing with all of our brands that are up here today are finding those like-minded people in your community. It could be a wine bar. It could be a culinary. We have photography-themed sailing. So there's so much you can really do. I know Diane mentioned price point, which is great because, we're talking about big commissions, and most people think, oh my gosh, I have to sell a $50,000 cruise. We have 3-night sailings on the Danube, right? So you can do Vienna, Budapest. And some of the prices start in around $1,500 per person. So they are still big commissions, all right? But you can kind of come in and start your entry maybe with the Rhine or the Danube there and just finding...
And that's a good way to introduce somebody to river cruising. You put a pre or post on it, and you've got a great little package.
We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah. What else is new? I mean, I know that you're owned by Globus, and there's a lot, of exciting things. But one of the things I think is very convenient is, you do sometimes encounter low water situations with the river, but you have Globus as
We do. And who would have thought last week we had high water in Fort Lauderdale, right? So... The world, it happens, right? Things happen in life. So the way we built our ships is, and I'm not an engineer, but the ballasts in the ship, really when there's low water issues, they can fill them with air so we can go further. And when there's high water, we fill them with water so they can sink lower to go. It's pretty genius. I mean, it really is. And when the captains love to talk about it, and it kind of goes, I'm like, just get us through the bridge.
So there are two things I think that are unique, in addition to everything else. The mattresses, you can have a soft or a firm mattress. They flip. And I love that because I like a soft mattress. My husband likes a firm one, so we just have to alternate every night, I think, and flip that mattress. And also the Whisper tour little thing that you bring around now doubles as a hotspot.
Yes, so when you're touring on Avalon, which is included, right? So just like this little thing here where you listen to your tour guide, your Whisper set now works as a mobile hotspot for you. So why is that important? That's important because your clients or you don't have to worry about activating those international plans for your cell phone provider, right? So you have Wi-Fi included on the ship and now off the ship as well.
That's so convenient.
Right?
Yeah, very, very good. Destinations. So I know that you do, obviously the rivers of Europe, but you also do, I love this itinerary, the lower Danube with Transylvania, and you do the Nile as well and the Mekong.
Yes, we do. And on the Mekong, we have an 18-cabin ship, so 36 capacity. But I can tell you as well, I mean, I've sailed the Danube, and not like I sailed the Danube, but I've been on the Danube multiple times, I'll just say that way. And every single time I've sailed with many of you out there, I find different places and see different things. And that's why these active and discovery itineraries have us stopping in smaller ports. We stay longer. So for example, in Vienna, you'll spend a day and a half. And that way, you and your clients can get out and really take advantage of the included excursions, but you're immersed in the destination and you're docked right in the heart of the destination. So you can come and go as you please on and off the ship.
Do advisors sell across the Globus brand? So if someone's more of a land vacationer, could it be an opportunity to sell them on Avalon since it is a
That's a good one.
sister company?
Yes, well, we do. And my kind of funny, it's Friday afternoon. River and land go hand in hand, guys, okay? But yeah, we do see a lot of people trying that have done with Globus. We are celebrating our 95th anniversary this week. Tomorrow in Denver, Colorado, they're having a huge party, right? I just celebrated, like Diane celebrated 15 years with AMA. I celebrated 15 years with Avalon on St. Patrick's Day. So pretty exciting times there. And so we are seeing that bleed over from land to river. We're seeing your clients combine packages. So with all of us out there, all of your CLIA members, and we thank CLIA a lot for just all the advocacy for small ship and river. And I cannot leave you today without just one last little plug, because I know last night at the booth, many of you asked about how do we get on Avalon. So does anybody want to go on Avalon? Okay. So I can be funny on a Friday afternoon and say, everyone gets a free cruise if you bring 9 friends with you, right? But we do have what's called sweet rewards. Just deposit on 123 or 24 sailing, and you can sail for $130 per person per night, including your port charges.
Great deal. Great deal.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Kristen.
Great. Thank you.
Great to have you.
Great. Thank you. Just fell out. Rest of time. Bye.
Bye. Last but not least, I would like to welcome to the stage the Director of Business Development Northeast for Ponant, Dale Woods.
I wanna be a billionaire so freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had.
He's batting cleanup for us today. Hey, Dale.
Forbes magazine.
So, I understand that you are a European company. You're actually owned by a very, glamorous consortia of fashion companies. Can you tell us a little bit about the ownership of Ponant and the mix of customers on your ships and your goals?
Well, first of all, we just celebrated 35 years in business.
Congratulations.
So thank you, everyone. We're a niche brand. We are a French flag cruise line, and we're owned by Groupe Artemis, who is a European holding company of many of the world's fashion brands, such as the ones I can't wear, Balenciaga, Brioni, but also Chateau Latour Vineyards and also Christie's of London Auction House. So we are 35 years in business, and we're operating nimble, small ships. We have about 13 ships now. We do have 13 ships now, and our focus really is on highly experiential content. So while we are French, newsflash, we speak English. That's usually the first question, but do you speak English? And we do. We make no apologies for the beautiful, quintessential French experience on board our ships. So do know that we are speaking English. We have a multinational crew and staff, and our clients, actually, 50% are being sourced from the US. We have surpassed our French nationals. So thank you to you and to our partnerships, and chances are you probably have already sold Ponant, but through a tour operator. It's only 9 years ago or so that we started really focusing on the advisors strongly as our own standalone brand. So thank you.
Oh, fantastic. I think most of your ships have balconies, and I just want to understand your fleet. So you have 6 explorers, including the Le Commandant Charcot, 4 sister ships, and then you also have a tall-masted sailing ship, Le Ponant. Is that right?
Yeah, so you've done your homework. Thank you. And don't forget Paul Gauguin.
Paul
We
Gauguin.
acquired Paul Gauguin 3 years ago.
Speaking of Tahiti.
We have a wonderful sister brand in Paul Gauguin, French Polynesia experts all year long. But Ponant itself has 3 generations. We started out with the 3-mast sailing ship, Le Ponant. By the way, I don't speak French, so I practice. Le Ponant, we just refitted her. She was built originally in 1988, our flagship, accommodating 64 guests, and we've just brought her down in size to only 32 guests, sailing in the Kimberley, Northwest Australia, the Mediterranean, and then Cape Verde, and also the Caribbean. So that's wonderful news. We're not going larger. We're going and we're keeping our ships to a smaller size. So the second generation would be what we call the sister ships, all named after the sky, La Boreal, La Soleal, L'Austral, and La Lyreal. We'll test you later. But no more than 244 guest capacity and no more than 200 in Antarctica. So these are all polar class ships meant specifically for the Arctic and Antarctica, all with outside balconies except for 8 staterooms on those ships. And then the third generation would be our Explorer class ships. We've built and launched 6 ships. Even through the COVID, we were launching new ships. And these ships are 100% balconies. So I'm trying to get to your question. And with an underwater lounge and a full marina on the stern of the ship. And then lastly, just launched in 2021 on our Labor Day, having reached the geographic North Pole, 90 degrees north, absolute north, is Le Commandant Charcot. And she's the first ever luxury icebreaker built specifically for passenger use with hybrid propulsion, electric and liquefied natural gas. And so much more to tell you about that ship as well. But that's the overview of the fleet.
So was there actually a Commandant Charcot?
There was an actual Le Commandant Charcot. You'll see I didn't name the Explorer class ships because of my French, but they're all named after French explorers, French. And Le Commandant Charcot was also a French explorer as well. So
Thank you. So I know you do the polar regions, but that's not all you do. There's a lot of warm water destinations that Ponant does. Is that right?
Yeah, so my challenge always has been, you're the polar experts, and we've always touted ourselves as the leader in luxury polar expeditions. And that's true. We're one of the leaders, 35 years of doing it. So where others are just entering into the expedition space, Ponant is one of the longest operators in the polar regions, Arctic and Antarctica. But I say of the 400 sailings that we operate and of the 450 ports of call that we visit, 25% only are polar regions. There's the rest of the world that we operate. We touch all 7 continents. There isn't a place pretty much that we don't go to, except for, oh, forget it. We won't tell you where we don't go to. We'll talk about where we do go to. So Mediterranean, Asia, think of us, but even our own backyard. I just did a webinar on exceptional destinations closer to home. So I'm talking about the Great Lakes. St. Lawrence Seaway, we have Keith Lockhart from the Boston Pops with us on board, going from Toronto to Montreal, Quebec City, and down to Boston. And then Alaska, we'll be in Alaska next year. 4 itineraries, 10 departures, and we're so thrilled because it's expedition style, up close and personal, I believe the only way to experience a destination.
Wow, so the one with the Boston Pops, do you have space on that, or is that?
We do. So it's this October, perfect time to be experiencing that part of the world, right? I live up there, by the way, so come and visit. But the fall colors, Boston Pop music, it's universal. And our clientele are from all over the world. As I said, we're probably about 50% sourced from America. But, you know, music brings people from all over the world together. And we're working now with Smithsonian Journeys. So that is a Smithsonian Journeys departure. That's all booked through Ponant, fully commissionable to you. We have commas in our commission as well. But with that icebreaker, I'm talking 5-digit commission. So talk to your director. I'm in the Northeast, and I can tell you more about Le Commandant Charcot. Fabulous.
Now, is everything included on Ponant? What's commissionable?
Yeah, so everything's commissionable except for the fuel and the tax. Shore excursions are included on the Smithsonian Journey departure, as are the transfers, and also there are 2 wonderful expert speakers on each. Normally, we do not include shore excursions. Our clients, the luxury clients, tend to want choices, whether they want their advisor to create a custom experience for them in port using the on-site or DMC. We have a menu of excursions that could either be pre-booked before departure or also during the cruise. So we do include everything: open bar, gratuities, port fees, taxes, Wi-Fi, butler service for those in the suites, and then room service for everyone. And don't forget, almost all balconies except for the sister ships with the 8 superiors. So
great. And the average age on Ponant?
Oh, did you have to ask that?
Sorry.
It's all about the mindset, right? It's all about the psychographics. So when you're looking for those clients, but okay, it's about 62 on average.
Okay,
But you know what?
All right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so we have clients as young, you know, we welcome families for Antarctica during the holiday, to Greek islands in the summer, to Alaska. They're coming to us multi-gen groups. We're waiving single supplements on many of our departures. The last I checked, 118 departures without a single supplement.
Fabulous.
Important for our demographic. We were one of the first to introduce that, and it's a rolling list. You'll find it on the homepage from special offers as well. So I say it's all about psychographics, the frame of mind. Health and well-being is important to us at Ponant. It's also through our partnership. So when you're looking for clients, go on to us.ponant.com and look at cruises. And there are themes. We have different themes. You can segment or filter the list of cruises. Don't forget 400 cruises a year, and we do offer up thematic. We're working with Relais and Chateau. We're working with Smithsonian Journeys. We just aligned ourselves with the Explorers Club in New York, the prestigious Explorers Club,
yeah.
on both polar and warm water expeditions.
So I'm an advisor and I haven't sold Ponant. How would I find the right customer to sell a Ponant cruise to?
Right. So hone in on your local community, work your country clubs, work your, did I just say that? I don't belong to one. But anyway, your church groups and bank clubs. Look at the themes that we're offering as well. There may be something that strikes your fancy, and you can reach out to friends and families as well. Follow up with your clients returning back from their sailings, and perhaps put in front of them. I bumped into this really beautiful French niche cruise line. And by the way, they speak English and don't smoke a lot. We only smoke outside. And the food's great, and the champagne is even better. So both Clicquot is our house champagne, and La Durée macaroons to your delight. So I say, put us out there in front of them, and don't be afraid of the price points, because we are French, and we say luxury. We are not, it's a Daleism, shishi fufu. We're a casual luxury. And you could do Caribbean 7 nights or Med 7 nights for just under $5,000 all inclusive. So don't let that scare you. But don't forget, 5-digit commissions with the icebreaker. So that tells you about the price point there, but it's very special. Very few in the world can say that they've been there, and it's all about access with Ponant. Explore to inspire is really our motto right now, and we protect best what we know well. Our clients are coming back better educated on the places they visit, and we're hoping that they'll come back and tell their loved ones about their experience.
Definitely. And on Ponant, I know I've asked some of the other panelists this, do you get a lot of cross kind of pollination of people that would do the polar regions, but then come back and go on the other sailings?
85% of clients sailing with Ponant return to us after 3 years. That's 50% after 1 year and 85% with a 97% recommend rate of those who have filled out the survey. Now, we know not everyone fills out the survey, but it's a strong testimonial, and we're just so proud that we've made Condé Nast #1 small ship last November. That's a reader, a consumer award. And then #1 expedition. It's been a lot of work trying to brand here in the States, but it's working. Thank you to you all and our support of CLIA as well. So we are, though, for first bookers, your first booking with us through May, we're just announcing an Amazon e-card giveaway of $500 for each double stateroom you sell during the month of May, and $250 for each single stateroom, and there's no limit. So sell to your heart's content. Earn those commissions with commas, but also earn those e-cards that are sent with deposit, not full payment.
Fantastic, Dale. And so we have 18 seconds left. Any parting words?
Explore to inspire is our motto. I say, think of Jacques Cousteau. For those that remember Jacques Cousteau, it's all about connecting with the destination. These are awe-inspiring moments. I'm in the business, 35 years, 15 years in small ships, mostly in expeditions, and I'm a changed man. I came from an airline job, and experiencing this up close and personal and really learning about the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dale. That was great. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, thank you everyone for your attention. I thought we had some great panelists today, didn't we? They did a great job. I want to thank CLIA for an amazing week. It was wonderful to meet all of you, or most of you, and enjoy the rest of your day and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Well, folks, it's hard to believe that the ship has sailed on our general sessions for this year's Cruise 360. 2023 has been my 8th year as MC of this very special event, and I hope it has been as meaningful to all of you as it has been for me. It's been wonderful to see everyone in person again, and we at CLIA are as committed as ever to helping you succeed in marketing and selling cruise travel. Have a fun and productive Friday afternoon. Be sure to enjoy the cruise line showcases. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you right back here in Greater Fort Lauderdale next year. So save the date, April 15th through 22nd. Thank you, and goodbye for now.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good, good night. I feel it.